Turning 18 marks a legal transition into adulthood, the age when young people can vote, join the military, and make decisions without parental consent. But does this milestone also signify the end of a parent's responsibilities? Should parents wash their hands of their children the moment the candles are blown out on that 18th birthday cake? Or does parenthood extend beyond legal definitions and into the realm of emotional, financial, and moral obligation? This question, do parents owe their children anything after 18, is stirring heated debates across dinner tables, social media threads, and family courtrooms alike. And depending on which side you're on, the answer can either sound like the gospel of tough love or the anthem of entitlement. For those in support, the argument is no, parents don't owe you anything after 18. For many, 18 is the finish line, and for some parents, a long-awaited one. They've provided food, shelter, education, and emotional support for nearly 2 decades. The idea that they should continue to sacrifice their own financial stability or mental health beyond that is seen as unreasonable. Supporters of this view argue that adulthood means personal responsibility. If society holds an 18-year-old accountable for committing a crime or signing a legal contract, why shouldn't they also be expected to take charge of their life? We gave you the tools, now build the life, some parents say. There's also a cultural and generational angle. In many parts of the world, young adults are expected to fend for themselves early. Think of immigrant families or working-class parents who had no choice but to grow up fast. They did it. Why can't you? This side also warns about the danger of raising dependents instead of adults. Constant support past 18 can blur the line between love and enabling, potentially stunting a young adult's growth, resilience, and ability to fail, which ironically is how many people learn to succeed. And for those that are not in support, that is, the counterpoint is, yes, parents still owe support after 18. On the flip side, critics argue that 18 is a legal age, not a magical transformation into adulthood. Sure, someone may be allowed to enlist or sign a lease, but that doesn't mean they have the financial literacy, job experience, or emotional maturity to survive, especially in today's economy. Let's talk facts. Housing is more expensive than ever. College tuition has skyrocketed. Wages haven't kept up. Expecting an 18-year-old to go from high school to full independence overnight isn't just unrealistic. It's borderline cruel, some say. Parenthood doesn't have an expiration date, this side argues. A parent's job is to launch their child into life, not drop-kick them into it. That might mean helping with college expenses, letting them stay at home while they work, or guiding them through emotional hardships until they can truly stand alone. Some even frame it as a moral obligation. If you brought a life into this world, you don't just stop caring at 18. Love and responsibility don't end just because the government says they can vote. And then there's this chilling thought. Would you ever let a stranger who just turned 18 live out of their car and eat from dumpsters? No. Then why is it acceptable to do that to your own child? The grey zone. Where do we draw the line? Here's the uncomfortable truth. There's no universal answer. Some 18-year-olds are ready to take on the world. Others are still emotionally fragile or financially incapable. Some parents are wealthy and can support their kids into their 30s. Others are scraping by and can't afford to. Should support be based on ability? Should it be conditional, tied to whether the child is working, studying, or making progress? Should it end the moment a child is disrespectful or lazy? Or should it be unconditional, the way love is often supposed to be? What about toxic parents, the ones who traumatize their children, then use the "you're 18, figure it out" excuse to avoid accountability? Or what about adult children who manipulate their parents into guilt-ridden financial servitude? These are not easy questions, and anyone who says otherwise is either naive or oversimplifying. Finally, responsibility ends, but connection doesn't have to end. So do parents owe their children anything after 18? Legally? No. Morally? It depends. Emotionally? Often, yes. This conversation forces us to ask, are we raising independent adults or just creating a generation of abandoned youth? Are we providing support or prolonging dependency? And most importantly, are we listening to each other across the generational divide or just yelling entitled and heartless at one another? What's clear is this: being a parent doesn't come with a clock-out time, but neither does being a responsible adult. Somewhere in the mess of expectations, disappointments, and realities, the truth lies, not in a law book, but in the relationship itself. Where do you stand? Should parents have a moral duty to support their adult children, or is cutting the cord the ultimate act of love? Still not convinced? Let the arguments begin. Tell us your experiences, views about the subject matter, and do not forget to subscribe and press the notification bell.